Hey, I'm going to talk about the second part of the scam. So, as I call the line, and this is really where you're being strung along, is really the thing where things are happening and you start to sort of do more and more stuff, even though you don't feel comfortable with it. And this is so mine started in probably I can sort of say it started in about March one year. And I only figured out that it was a scam in about February the next year. So this was an 11-month play. Kept on going. I kept on seeing things. I kept on doing it, being involved in it, throwing more money at it, um, and it just kept on building. And it was sort of like as I sort of said, the hook was there to do all this. And then once you had that hook and it was in you, you were then constantly wanting to keep that promise alive to yourself, because you'd started to dream of all these things that you could do. As I said, this was a financial scam, and I'm sure if it's a romance scam or any other sort of scam that they're out, the same sort of process happens. You're there. You do not suddenly want to take away that dream, because suddenly it looks so nice, so that you continue to want to do everything to make sure that it happens. So, for me, there were moments when things were going a little bit backwards, and also he knew I was a sophisticated investor. So, a lot of times when things are going down, I know that that's a good time to invest more, especially if you believe in the fundamentals and you believe in the share or something like that. That's share market thoughts. If you believe in something and you think it's good and it's just had a dip, which might be due to other factors, then at that point in time, if you've got some money, a lot of times I will buy some more of that particular share. And that's my sort of thought processes as well. If something has good value, even if it's going down, it might be an opportunity to get some more at that point in time to continue to grow. And so that was played upon as well. That we were doing crypto and we were doing Bitcoin, and at some cases the Bitcoin dropped quite a lot, and that was a time to sort of do some more investments to bring some more money in while the halving was going on, and then there was other things that were going on as well. But that's neither here nor there. It was really about this idea that I didn't want to let go of the dream that I'd formed in my mind, and the dream that I'd formed in my mind for my family as well. All the things that I could possibly do, the things that I could possibly afford, were very much on the line, and I wanted to continue to potentially have those things. I didn't want to sort of let them go, and I think that whole process of not wanting to let them go is then what dragged me further and further in. So, you had this first part where you were hooked. And that's why I call this hook, line, and stinker. You were first hooked, and you sort of got through all the sort of suspicious stuff, and you felt you came out at the end of, this might be legit, this might be okay, this might be something. And then because you'd suddenly invested so much time, and this would have probably been about 6 months later that these things were happening. 6 months I invested my time in terms of research, in terms of checking things out, in terms of watching things, in terms of checking out that things were being done legit. Everything that I'd put in, I would see on their portal or their platform. I could see the money appearing there. So, I could make the calculations to see that the transactions that happen and everything like that. All of that happened properly. Even when one of the platforms that I was working with shut me down for no reason, it didn't really twig enough that there was something wrong and somebody else had given me that warning sign. We just found a different platform that I could continue to feed money that way. And then there was one point when I was really concerned about something, and this is where they sort of said, look, we know that you don't have the money right now. I know that you sort of said you've got money in the future. Look, what we'll do is we'll spot you this money, and so you can at least earn the rewards. And then when you've got the money in in a couple of months' time, that's fine. We'll get it off you then, and but you'll still get all these rewards at this point in time. You'll get the money that it's making for you at this point in time. So again, because you don't think that all they're actually showing is just numbers on a page, it's not actual real numbers. You don't think anything. You think this is a very generous offer. You think this is a wonderful thing. It's only afterwards that you realise, well, that was just there to make sure that I was committed to giving them that money, and I did. And so, I was committed to that point to giving. This was around Christmas as well, and I could see how the money that they had loaned me, how much that had exponentially increased what I could do, because that got me to another level of their in terms of their rewards platform as well. So I got a boost from that. Not only from the money that I was making, but their so-called generous boost of their wealth as well. And so I saw my money growing and growing and growing, and I didn't want to let go of that. I didn't want to, even though in the back of my mind there was something that was saying, "There's something wrong here. This is just not how it works. This is not how things work." But even then, I was continuing to look at the numbers, making checks, and it did work out. Like all of the numbers worked out. The only thing that didn't work out was that there was no money there. It was just a platform that worked off the numbers. If it had actually done what it said it to, I probably would have been that, but probably wouldn't have either. Look, I'm still in sort of denial mode now, and that was really the part at that point in time that it was really about. You were looking for anything that would substantiate your view of what was going on, and you didn't want to. At this point in time, after like 8 or 9 months, you didn't want to sort of say to yourself, "This is wrong. You are wrong. You've done something. You've been an idiot. You've been stupid." You didn't want to say those things. You were in total denial that something was going to go wrong, that something was happening. You just wanted to believe. You just wanted to believe so much, and I was in that point where I was wanting to believe. I had a part of me that, thankfully, that I held on to, that sort of said, well, this might go bad, thinking about just a normal investment, that this might go bad and suddenly I might lose a lot of it, but I still have my money left over. And all of the time you're having this battle with yourself. I remember having lots of sleepless nights, sort of like, and I think, probably my dreams, if I dreamed or stuff, everything would be telling me, you're stupid, what's going on? Can't you see this? And, they say you can't see the forest for the trees, and really here, I couldn't see. I didn't want to see past my dream that it might shatter. I didn't want to deny myself these things, and all of these emotions then are stopping you from seeing the real truth. And it was a shattering time at that point in time to sort of think. I was starting to, around that Christmas time when they were asking for more and more money, I was starting to sort of think, this better work now. I'd invested so much time and effort and money that this better not be what I think it is. But I still held on to the belief that this was the right thing, and that it was going to give me that dream that I'd built up in my mind, and that this person had built up in my mind. So there was a lot of that sort of that sort of ability to sort of link all these things together, that I wanted this dream, I wanted this goal so much that I would continue to do anything, even if it was going to the detriment of me at that point in time. I started selling things to sort of make, to get some of the money together to make things. And, I look back at it now, and I thought, and I think, how can I be so stupid? But at the moment, the emotion was so high, the emotional payoff was so high. All the things that I could have, all the things that I wanted, was so high that I just couldn't think that it could be nothing else. And I'm sure other people who have been in that situation would just sort of think, well, yeah, this is going to be the thing. It's going to work. And I think it doesn't matter whether you've got small amounts of money, emotions, your love life on the line, whatever it happens to be, because there's so much romance scams out there as well. There's so much going on. It doesn't matter what, you just don't want to think that you could have been duped. And I think that was really what the thing was. So, yeah, so that was what was playing out the whole time I was going through this. I was constantly wanting this to be okay, and wanting it to continue to move on, and to be the thing that I thought it was. And I denied any little bit that showed me that it mightn't be what it was. Anyway, I'll talk to you about the full outcome and the full crash in the next video.